Well, good evening, everybody. I am Reverend Rob Banaszak, and I am the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development in Washington, D.C. And this is our Wednesday evening meditation. It's the time that we allow ourselves some stillness, some reflection, and some meditation guided by a set of cards that will give us a word or a message that we can take with us into our meditation and then beyond the meditation into our week. This message can be for us individually or for our community. And it always means something to us as a collective. So I invite everyone to kind of think of the message that we are going to be listening to and reflecting on as one that is both close to our lives as well as one that we might want to think about on a more macro level. So it is the third Wednesday of the month, and it is the meditation that I like to switch up our cards a bit and begin to focus on the spirit world as reflected in the world of the extraterrestrials. So we've got a beautiful set of cards called the contact cards, and they, using extraterrestrial language and imagery, again, offer us some insight and messages that we can use for the meditation. But I like to use these cards with some regularity because I feel that I'm exploring the essence of the universe and our consciousness as one that goes beyond our earthly limits is a way for us to be thinking of life in a much more expansive way. The universe is a living entity. The earth itself is a living entity. We are all part of the all. And so as we think of the life that is growing and expanding and sustaining and strengthening, let us, at least for one Wednesday a month, think of the language in terms of something that is much more expansive than just the earth magic, which we love and which we use. So these cards are lovely. Each card that I draw will, just like the earth card, will have a word and a message that the image reflects, and also is accompanied by a beautiful little short story that I just think is so delightful and really kind of illustrates the message of the card in a really beautiful way. So I'm excited about this because I love these cards. And as usual, I have them here, and this is what they look like. They're a little different than the Earth Magic cards. And there's several suits, and each suit has its own theme, and then each card within the suit has its own theme and story. So excited about that. Just for a point of reference, the suits of cards that we are working with. So a little education. So we've got aliens. We've got ships, stars, planets, and crop circles. So all of those suits have their own cards within them that we will address when we choose our card. And so I'm going to invite everybody to kind of begin to relax now. We're not quite going into meditation yet, but before we go into meditation, I'm going to ask you to relax as I read the story, because it is like reading a bedtime story with these cards, and I really think it's really quite beautiful. But before that, we're going to move the cards around. I don't like to say shuffle because I'm not a shuffler. And then I'll choose the top card so that that represents the energy that we've all put into the cards whenever we're watching this video, which always reminds me, if you're watching on YouTube Live, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on the video, and tune in for all of our spiritual events. Right, so we'll move the cards around and trying to get better at this every week. I'm not sure if I've done it, but trying to get it so I don't at least drop them, which I just did. So not even looking at it. So what do the cards hold for us? All right, are we ready? Thank you for adding your energy to the cards. Our card for today, this is our message for today and for the rest of the week, is, oh, okay. So we've chosen the Stars suit. The card is White Dwarf. Stars, who doesn't want to be a star, and the White Dwarf. I'm going to put this card with another camera so that you can look at it more closely as I read. Just one moment, please. So I'm going to read from the book, Contact Cards. And so now just relax, because this is like your bedtime story. This is your chance to lay back and close your eyes if you'd like, but you can keep them open as I read. And I really invite you to reflect on what you are feeling, what you felt when you saw me pull the card, the star card, the stars card. What does that mean to you? What does that make you feel? And the White Dwarf card. Now, I know I feel curious about what it has to say. But again, what is it? What is it making you feel? And then as we read through the story together, again, what are your feelings? How is it impacting you? What might it be touching on in your life that you can immediately see as I read? And then what can you take from the little story into meditation that is going to lead you to a better place that you come out of? So I'm going to read about the suit of the cards first. And this is what it says about stars. As we gaze up into the night sky, we see what appears to be a field of small, twinkling lights, all about the same relative size and intensity. However, with the aid of telescopes and space probes, we know that stars are far from uniform, and that many of those apparently single points of light are actually 2, 3, or more stars in proximity to one another. Stars range in size from dwarf stars, smaller than our moon, and millions of times more dense, to red supergiants bigger than the diameter of our entire solar system, to the crushing singularities of black holes, so small to be virtually without size at all. The dynamic life cycles of stars symbolize the cycles and outcomes of all the affairs of humans and every other being throughout the known universe. So stars are us. We are made of stars. We are made of the stuff that stars are made of. So the one word attribute that I'm seeing for the White Dwarf card is challenge. Challenge. Everybody loves a good challenge, right? White Dwarf, stars, who we are as human beings, challenge. The diminutive star was frozen in a quandary of polarized revelations. It was once a great effulgent star, but it had shrunk to the size of a small moon and emitted only a weak, sickly glow. Previously a regal conflagration of nuclear fire, now it floated through its own ashes like a dying ember, a thick, dense cinder of impenetrable neutronium. Yet, while it contemplated its fall from grace, the white dwarf recognized the paradox in its plight. Being composed of the densest matter, the small star now had an unimaginably powerful aura of gravity that swept up all minor matter in its path, adding to its own massive presence. The star was frustrated by its inability to shine, but saw the advantage to unobtrusively gathering the glistening particulates of its former incarnation and converting them into a new, smooth shell of crystalline armor. Whereas previously its light had shone far and wide, the white dwarf realized that this had been its but a showy display compared to the substance it now possessed. It had pull, it had weight, it was a force to be reckoned with. But while it considered these portentous matters, polarity still resonated deep within its soul. The white dwarf knew that in order for it to exercise its newfound power, it must remain in balance. With great concentration and diligence, it ultimately developed a finely tuned neutrality that forever suspended it between the microcosmic spark of the atom and the imponderable enormity of the infinite. When this card creeps into our lives, we may find things are slow going. This is the energy of a thick, dense reality where the least little idea is subjected to an interminable analysis, an endless pondering. Anything gets done at all. If the white dwarf is sitting in our path, we may meet with great resistance and experience overwhelming frustration in our attempts to get things moving. This card may mean we are bogged down with flat, uninspired, unhealthy, outdated, or fatalistic definitions about what things mean and how we interpret the events that surround us. On a slightly lighter side, the white dwarf can augur the presence of a matter of great weight and consequence, which can profoundly affect our lives or those of the beings around us. If so, we must take care to weigh all the issues, perspectives, and potential results so that our decision does not produce an unstable outcome. The white dwarf symbol is the epitome of the phrase, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Also, there are so many things going on with this card. Because the white dwarf card is frustrated because it remembers a time where it was grand and large and diaphanous. But as the white dwarf, it's substantive and dense and powerful. So it feels that tonight we are looking for a situation that right now is calling for our densification. No longer can we look at this situation in our lives as something that's trivial or that may not mean so much. It's a situation that is calling on us, as the book said, for when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And so I think for the purposes of thinking of our forward movement, what is that challenge? And it's one that we've called for. This is not a challenge that's being thrust on us. So let's imagine that whatever it is something that we call into being for ourselves. So just like last week, when we stepped on the precipice over that waterfall, when we were being asked to jump and to trust, this week we are being asked to believe in our own power, to look down and see that though we may not be as lovely and as free wheeling as we once were, Those of us that have grown up, those of us that have matured, have a density and a wisdom and a substance that we have never had before. This is where we are being called to experience this challenge. And it's a challenge that we have asked for. So I don't know what that is for you. And I know that that usually comes to me as we are meditating. But let's see it as our affirmation in our own power, our confirmation that the challenge that we've asked for is one that we can overcome, that we can excel in as the white dwarf star, dense and powerful. Enough of my sermonizing. Let's meditate, shall we? And let's start by getting comfortable, even more comfortable than we might have been. Maybe relaxing, turning off your video. Maybe tonight, since we are in the cosmos, turning off the lights where you are, getting a sense of that beautiful, comforting darkness as we begin to enter into that meditation. And so I have the star card up for us so that we can glance at it if we need to remember, if we need to see an image of that strong, powerful core, the denseness of our our being able to affect change and move and really achieve and move forward. So as we always do, let us start with our breath. That means we are paying attention to the breath as it enters our body. And as we hold on to it for a moment, and then as we exhale slowly. So again, let's pay attention to that breath as we inhale. And we hold. And then we exhale slowly. Another breath in, inhale. And hold. And exhale. And one more deep and conscious breath, inhale. Hold. And exhale. Just allow our breathing to return to normal, to a nice, easy state. So we're conscious of our breath as it comes in and as it leaves. It allows us with every breath to become more and more relaxed each time, each breath. So in the stillness now, in the silence, let us imagine ourselves going deeper and deeper into our center. Every breath, we feel drawn as if the center of our chest has gently opened up and As we go through where the opening is in our chest, we discover a universe inside of us. We find ourselves floating in this space. For as we've gone deeper, our bodies just have lightly faded. Our breath holds us in the material space as we allow ourselves to go deeper and deeper into our spirit space. Deeper and deeper. It's as if we've gone down a hole, and at the end of the hole, we found ourselves in the cosmos. And just allow ourselves to float in this space gently. We feel no pain. We feel only gentle relaxation and a sense of expansiveness that grows out from us as it grows below us, wider and wider. Deeper and deeper. And as we find ourselves in this space of stillness and silence and serenity, the mind and the presence that is in this space reflects on the card and the words in this safe space. We think of our power. We think of its concentration with us. And most importantly, we think of that situation, that experience, that relationship that is uniquely calling for this substance and density. We feel the courage. We feel the anticipation. For we know we have called this experience to being. And in this stillness, with our density, we claim our success. We claim our victory. We claim our knowledge, our awareness, our strength, most importantly, our confidence in being what we need to be and who we need to be in this space. As stars in the sky, we envision our victory and success. We experience the conversation that we need to have. We experience the successful communication of the information from that conversation. We experience the rush of knowing that we extended beyond our comfort zone. That we believed in our own substance, in our own strength. As we bask in the success and joy of our accomplishments. can feel the smile that goes beyond our physical body, the smile that is part of our presence, the twinkle, just like a star that shines in our eye. From knowing of our own power and substance and its effect on our lives. As we just imagine the serenity, as it affects our living in our lives. It's as powerful in the quiet as it is in our efforts. With this power, security, and confidence, because we've chosen to envision and intend our success, we allow ourselves to be energized ever so slightly. To take that victory lap around the cosmos. We imagine ourselves discovering around us all of those beings, all of those essences that in this experience have discovered the power of being the white dwarf. And we greet one another. High-fiving ourselves with our celestial tails. Smiling to each other with our twinkles. And gathering together to swirl in a circle. Faster and faster and faster. Faster and faster. Feeling that exhilaration. Feeling our love. Dancing, flying, tripping, tumbling being. And from here we realize that we are both energized as well as relaxed, that we can return to our earth life, that we can come up through the depths of the universe inside ourselves into the life of our earth plane, that we can live with energy, and that our denseness can be a part of us that does not keep us from moving, but that propels us forward. And let us choose to return to our earth plane selves. And let us imagine that we are coming up through the depths, that we are looking toward the heavens, and then find ourselves looking beneath us at the universe deep within. Rising from the starlit skies, into our bodies, discovering our breath again as we inhale and exhale, discovering that breath. Empowered, energized, enthusiastic. Let us fully return to our bodies by taking those breaths. Our eyes remain closed as we inhale and exhale quickly. Inhale again and exhale quickly. One more deep breath as we inhale and exhale quickly, and then open our eyes and returning to our space. And I do hope that you had as much fun on your journey to the universe within as I had, driving the spaceship there through the stars. As you can see, I choose to decorate in a space theme and get us to that understanding that the universe within is where we make these discoveries, where we make these commitments and promises to ourselves. So our insight for the week is to continue to take that journey. Maybe write about it in your journal and have the courage and the joy to maybe take another trip deep within to remember that denseness, and substance, and strength that we have to overcome anything. Because when the going get tough, the tough get going. Please join us for our events coming up. We've got so many things happening now. We restarted our Tuesday night book group. It's a really fun experience. We are taking on the Celestine Prophecy, which is a book that became a phenomenon almost 20 years ago, or more than 20 years ago now. And it's for those of us that are choosing to do this circle, it's bringing up a lot of really wonderful memories of that discovery and that enlightenment. So you don't have to have read the book, you don't even have to own the book, because we pull the passages up and share the screen and go over them together. But it's a fun adventure, and it certainly does remind us of our own spiritual adventures. So those are Tuesday nights, and we've got our Sunday service this coming week. Reverend Fran Wright will be the celebrant, and we've got our message gallery on Saturday night. So if you haven't purchased your registration for that, we've got our readers who will offer very short readings to our clients, and they go through the Zoom screen, each of them offering a reading to each person. It's really fun and a lot of great energy there. So check the website out, and looking forward to seeing everybody at some point at ISD here in this magical space sometime in the very near future. Have a great summer's night, what remains of our summer, and take some time to be in the cosmos. Be well.